These are the inner thoughts of Cloud Strife. I just want to go home.
But what's your home, Cloud?
Why do
really?
why
I don't know. And why does my inner thoughts have a British accent all of a sudden?
Why do those thoughts of mine sometimes come up? Anyway, this is Cloud Strife here again on my local livestream. I met this cute girl called Aerith Gainsborough, whose church I happened to crash through, and now we're helping out, we helped out some kids, found this creepy looking guy in this hood who reminded me of my idol, who kinda went evil at some point, but anyone who's new to this game doesn't know how that goes yet, so I guess just wait till later.
Cloud, you know what else you did?
What?
When you crashed through the roof and landed on those flowers, like I think I said the last part, you interrupted Aerith's vlog series on the Aerith.
So,
Yeah.
Dwibs, so we'll just share the airspace then.
Yes, Pedro?
Right. I already know what you're gonna answer, but I'll still ask. Why not? You're planning on beating the combats, the hard modes bosses in this game.
Oh my, is that a
No, not really.
Because the only way you'll find out who Chadley is if you beat the hardest boss in the game.
And you can only access that via hard mode.
Well, if you want, Dwibs, I can.
Hold on. Actually, talking about.
Yeah, those Moogle coins you've been collecting, you can spend them here.
That's right,
Oh, goody.
I opened a store to bring happiness to the
Also, I take this is the kids' version of a tale because I do remember in the original game being slightly different. The Mog wanted to mate in that one.
Yeah, well, we can't have mating with little kids, so...
Yeah, exactly. Gotta teach the kids a good message.
Anyway, we've collected all kinds of rare and wondrous goods.
Okay.
They can be
Also,
used
that
to button up
that Moogle head looks more like a koala than anything.
Also, Moogle medals, sorry, not Moogle coins, I'm gonna get lynched if I say it wrong.
First of
Anyway.
all, buy a membership card.
Yeah.
Because
But don't worry, they only cost one medal, so...
most of the articles, well, most of the articles that you need right now just cost one. The one that you will need the most later, like the manuals that increase your weapon points, will cost like 10 each, I think.
It's cute and adorable.
I think so, and I come back at least once or twice while I'm in this
Yeah,
section
you
of the
actually
game.
need to buy an object from here, actually twice. Well, for now, you will need to buy an object from here in order to progress a particular side quest.
You know, this is how I earn a living.
Huh? Really? I thought you were just doing it for fun.
I suppose some people do.
Cloud, stop being a tryhard, edgelord.
Yeah, I'm some people, nice to meet you.
Wow, dang.
I live on the street, you know.
Dang, she has all the replies to my try-hard suggestions. You know, I
There
could...
you go, there's a weapon
Fancy
for
funny.
Airy, for example, and there you go, a disc.
I don't know why, but for some reason, I feel like I'm getting along with Aerith a lot better than I did the first time.
There you go, that's the item you need, the graveyard key.
Yeah, and I'm buying it already because even though I haven't played this game before, I know what the game's thinking. I mean, graveyard key? I wonder when that's going to
Why
pop
would a
up. So I
child
bought it
be
anyway.
selling that?
Because the child nicked it and she needs the money.
Hey, Aerith, here's a Telluric script.
Thanks to you, I've got
Thanks.
Yeah, it'll help boost your skills and all that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, read this the next time you go to another.
Come on, he was trying.
Go on, work your magic.
Cloud, come
Oh.
on, he's a child.
Oh, well, maybe that child's a miracle worker.
Come on, Cloud.
Let me actually check who voices Mog. You think the actress is credited?
It's
or
not-
actor?
It's
Let
not
me
the
check.
actual Moogle, but it's cute.
Honestly, it makes more sense. Remember, Jova, even in universe, Muggles are more used for merchandising products. Remember, the Muggle bot that Kate Sif uses as a steed is just a robot in itself. It's not an actual living creature.
I'm trying to remember if we do actually see any real Moogles aside from Mog in 7.
No, it's just in that basically live simulation game at the Ghost Saucer, and that's it. You have the summon Chocomog, but it's like a spirit. I'm not sure if it works the same.
Interesting thing that this game has for the it has the music from locations that we're not going to get to in this
Yeah.
part of the project. So
I think I mentioned 2 parts ago. Basically, Mazu is basically making the homework so in advance, just so it's ready.
Also, that's cute. That kid was playing with a toy Buster sword.
Keep in mind, Dwibs, also considering how many remixes are for a couple of themes alone, I'm pretty sure they're gonna come up with even new stuff when the time will come. Moggy, there we go. Hudson West. Let me check.
that sounds like the name of Hudson Soft's
Oh
Western division.
no, he was in Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, man. Oh, but he was in Klaus more recently. So
Oh,
let me
nice.
check who was in Klaus. Oh, additional kid voices.
So the kid was in a crap comedy and an
Okay.
average Christmas movie.
Okay, this is a bit ironic. Hold on, I'll mention later.
I'll
Okay.
handle it.
You will?
That's what I do.
I could hear them shouting intruder detected or some other nonsense when they floated off. Be careful. They look dangerous.
Well, they're robots in this universe. I think they're all dangerous.
I'm glad I moved here, but trains aren't gonna so much as budge.
Nice sword you got.
Just one night in Walmart. Hey, you're a soldier, right?
Well,
Yes,
Dwibs, I can point you to some YouTube footage you can use.
Yeah, well, might as well go down that route.
All right then.
Well,
Because it's actually because it's a very it's both weird but at the same time kind of sad.
let me guess. Let me guess. Charlie's a really cyborg or something.
You'll have to wait and see. That's
Sorry about that. Anyway, what I was saying was that Cloud's original English voice actor, Steve Burton, was famous for being, I think, at least in the main cast, of a series called General Hospital. Apparently, Mr. Hudson West was also there. Apparently, from 2016 to 2019, as a very recurring character called Jake Spencer. So, casting gag, I suppose.
So he was in that.
Even though Steve Burton's not in this game.
Yeah.
So he was in that. He was in a terrible comedy. Man, a pretty sublime Netflix movie. All right.
But yeah, that's actually one of the more recent things that he did.
Ow! 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 Eric, get this off of me! Get this off of me! Thank you.
calm down. What are you doing there?
Let's just say I don't do well with creepy collies, okay? Bah.
Oh, neither do I, but you don't hear me complaining.
Well, let's see how you handle when one latches themselves onto you in ways you wouldn't imagine.
Ew.
I'm pretty sure it won't get any worse than that.
Right. Totally.
Cloud, what we told you about not sounding like lightning?
I don't get paid enough for this.
Never.
That depends, Tio. Which slightly, the one written by Toriyama or the one that isn't?
Well, I think he was talking about Toriyama's original.
Honestly, I actually don't remember if in the spin-offs they keep the right catchphrase.
They do too.
Is it in World of Final Fantasy?
Well, remember too, as even Ali Hillis herself told us, the right.
No, I know, but it's important. Is that I don't remember her using it, or at least not that much in the CDO 12, for example, or in T for that matter.
Well, I can tell that she uses it in World of Final Fantasy.
Okay.
You really have to take advantage of that big in Japan sale too, because that game is awesome.
I'll tell you more later. But yeah. Okay, this particular enemy already is one of your sort of reality checks when it comes to the side quest, because you need to use a specific strategy to beat it, because sometimes it puts up the barrier, where it becomes immune to physical attacks until you use its weak point, which is wind magic, basically. But since wind magic works like the ice magic, so it essentially creates a trap that activates like a second later, there's a small delay, you need to time it right.
Did you bring the wind magic, Dwibs?
Probably not. I don't even think he bought one.
Fair enough. Okay. That's not necessarily... Okay, it's not impossible to beat them without the wind magic, but unless you have the wind magic, yeah, it may take a while to beat them.
Because I bet they move really fast on the field.
I guess if I can give something of a critique to this game, it's that some enemies do feel like they have a bit more health than they need.
Sponge, you mean?
Yeah.
Maybe some later game bosses, I would agree, but I don't know, I think the curve is pretty consistent when it comes to, you know, the health value, I mean.
Not all of them, but there are some mooks or enemies where if you don't know the very way to take them down quickly enough, they may come off as a lot more spongy or just may feel like they have a bit too much health than they need. Not all, just, you know, some, and they're far and few between anyway.
Well, like I also said, the stagger gauge is still vital in order to defeat the enemies properly. It's just not completely mandatory, but you better exploit it as soon as you can, essentially.
It's the most efficient way of taking down really tricky enemies like the two I just faced.
I'm actually surprised that it works a lot like it does in 13. Just
Also,
you know,
sorry Barrett, because you're not here at the minute, I need to take that lightning materia off.
Well, you can always give him back later on anyway.
It's a bit RPG logic, you won't notice.
What does work like 14, Jova? Sorry.
the stagger gauge, except, you know, it's not, like, as forced on you as it was in 13.
Not really. I mean, the stagger gauge in 13, you just have to use magic in general. You didn't even have to worry about elemental matchups, to be honest. Like, you could just...
Actually, you do. Remember,
that's a feint tail. You could just
just because you use the auto battle, but enemies do have element resistance or weaknesses. You need to be into. That's what the saboteur role is for too, because they can inflict the imperil debuff that actually lowers their elemental debuffs. So when instead Ravager, I think it is in English. A Ravager roll can actually, when you use the auto battle command, use automatically the specific element attached to it.
A bit earlier, Harif, don't stand so close to that sword, damn it. You can end up getting run through with that thing by mistake or something.
That would suck.
Even then, Teo, like, you still have the non-elemental spell of the command.
Ruin is more like used as an offensive command after you already staggered the enemy. It's mostly used when commando roll can't actually physically reach an enemy because like it's too high, because it reaches like the point. But otherwise it would just use the attack command. Again, the selecting auto makes everything relatively pointless, but that's the idea that the game is using behind.
Alright, well since I was third for the last battle we had with these guys, really the most annoying thing about these guys is the shield that keeps popping up.
So if you analyze them, you will know how to neutralize it.
And I thought I did analyze it.
Well, Jova, Jova, here's the thing, regardless, though, the primary reason, is that the stagger gauge in this game, even though it's a gauge instead of a wave, it kind of works more like the wave from Lightning Returns rather than the gauge from the previous two games, because aside from elemental matchups, it also helps that if you keep a good rhythm with your attacks. So even if you're just whacking away with the enemy with your physical attack rather than using fire magic or whatever element the enemy is weak to, if you manage to use a really good move that deals a lot of good consecutive hits, like FIFA Star Shower, you can easily increase the stagger gauge. So the stagger gauge in general is a lot more similar to the stagger wave, which is a much better idea.
Well, that's why I said it functions like 13 stagger gauge, just, you know, not as restrictive. That's why I said
it also helps that, yes, it is heavily influenced by elemental magic still in this game, but also from different things that you can do in battle. And that can work potentially also to your disadvantage. Again, the analyzed material basically is your best friend here, because the yellow flavor text tells you basically what you're supposed to do for stacking properly the enemy. If it's a particular battle, the analyzed material will pretty much tell you information's not found, so pretty much you have to guess it on your own what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you're pretty much required, for example, to have the access material if you want to know how to properly beat the boss of the Colosseum in Chapter 9.
Oh, I got a trophy! My first ability.
I think it's because you mastered the ability of the sword.
Indeed.
Cool.
Target eliminated.
Well, Joe, but the primary. Hold on, there's gonna be a cutscene now.
Yeah.
It's interesting because target eliminated. That's like that's like the win battle quote from one of the robot creatures in the Unholy War, which is now also a Square IP, but well, like any IDOS thing except Tomb Raider, and to an extent,
It's in the closet, not knowing what to do.
and to an extent, Deus Ex.
How about Legacy? Okay.
Oh, come on, Dwibs. Like, I'm a Marco's Magic football fan, and you don't hear me complaining. I mean, let's face it, there are not all IPs can survive the test of time.
Admittedly, though, Unholy War is one that I think really there's a lot of potential to work with, whereas Marco's Magic Football, that's kind of a one-and-done sort of thing.
Well, that's the thing, Joe. Unholy War did get another game using that engine.
Yes, it did.
Well, actually, that's the thing, Joe. Like, the ending of Marco's Magic Football clearly, the developers clearly tell you that they really want to make a sequel. Unfortunately, they weren't able to back in the day because the game just was obscure in general.
Yeah, plus, Unholy War's theme of, harsh intergalactic war, that can at least have the door open for another game, but the only other game like that we've had since that one came out was a game about bloody magical girls.
All crossing over
and I'm pretty sure the development team... Oh, here we go.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I know you.
Yeah, okay. The side quest itself isn't bad, it's just the typical go to this place and wipe out a bunch of enemies so a guy can go over and do stuff that he's wanted to for a while. It's just the ending I'm not particularly keen on.
Okay,
Oh,
context. This old person wants to visit his wife's grave. Problem. For some reason, monsters have started nesting on the fucking graveyard.
Because monsters are dicks.
So basically, he's not gonna move himself there.
Yeah.
So basically, you need to do some cleanup first.
This is one quest that I've heard a lot of people complain about. I won't spoil why.
Well, me too.
The reason will become obvious when we get there.
Okay, like I
Please,
said, the quest...
don't invest, people. Come on.
Well, it shouldn't be in my way. But
Of
anyway,
course.
The quest itself is fine. It's not what you have to do, or the story before the ending. That's the issue. It's totally okay. But hang on. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. We got no time to help an old guy out now. We got to look at flowers.
Oh, I nearly forgot. I saw some Shinra suit
Oh.
walking toward your house.
I'm
Basically,
busy.
Yeah, this is your setup for the next story event, but
Yeah, but not right now. I'm busy.
yeah, not right now.
Say it with flowers.
Okay.
Oh, Persona 5.
Let's check Dwibs' trophies, I guess.
Yeah, I got a Persona 5.
Theme.
I got a royal theme to be exact, because I got Persona 5 Royal recently.
I gotta say, I love the new Showtime attacks for that game.
Yeah, and I love how they look, particularly with the different pairings you get.
Which one's your favorite?
Ryuji and Makoto's.
Ah. I'm not surprised that you did not say Akechi and Ren's.
So over Akechi is a prat, and I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah, like no.
But what about Royo possibly making him a good guy?
He's still a prat.
He's still a prat. I mean, I gotta say, that's like I said before in SSMB. His voice actor plays
Robbie Damon.
He plays two rats.
Yeah, Robbie Damon. He voices Pinstripe in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, and I gotta say that is the best casting ever.
Isn't
Cast a guy who played a rat to play a rat.
Yes.
Actually, no, that was a question. I don't know.
What was that, Trio?
Isn't Pinstripe more like a weasel?
No. He's a Potteroo. That's a type of marsupial. So, yeah, a rat.
Okay. Well, rats are not marsupials.
No.
Which is funny
Okay,
because...
watch Z-Frank's True Facts About Marsupial. That pretty much tells you of that are completely different odors compared to rodents.
Which is interesting as well, because in the same game, Nitro Fueled, I mean, Damon also voices
Hunter.
We could always
yeah,
run
Hunter,
away
because of the Spyro stuff in the Grand Prix.
Gotta
Actually, I don't know if
say,
it's specified, Jova. Is Hunter supposed to be a leopard or a jaguar?
he's a cheetah.
A
Oh,
cheetah.
okay then. Complete
Wow,
opposite.
And yet-
and hey, you can say Akechi is a bit of a cheetah too. So yeah.
And yet, for some reason, he is not speed class. You'd think that would have been obvious.
Who's speed class? Spyro.
Yes, Spyro's the speed class.
Of course.
And Nasty
Even though he's a
Norik,
protagonist, so he should be balanced instead.
and Nasty Norik is the turn character, despite
Wait,
being
not
huge.
the heavy?
Nope, he's the turn character.
Who the fuck assigned the stats?
Hey, ever since, I think I found out his motivation, being called ugly, persuaded him to try and be more of a turner.
Well, that means he's not a threat at all.
Charge your damn
well, yeah.
DualShock, Lord Dwibs.
Damn, Aerith is sassy.
He's of no threat to the to wherever.
Wow, Aerith, that's an amazing summon. It's a baby chocobo.
Sometimes the little creatures can have special powers inside them.
Fat
No, look, I
chocobo's more.
staggered one of them.
The fat chocobo's more powerful, though.
I don't have the fat chocobo yet.
Could have gotten if you had just looked behind the damn fan.
Well, not really. That's a Chocomog, Jova. Fat Chocobo is for later. It's one of the VR battles with you to win.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say fatter chocobo.
That's not even that, Jova. It's simply Chocomog, the one that you get behind the fan.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's almost down.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Well, it was
That
a
is
flare
one
magic.
powerful flare.
Okay, good job.
Rule of starting from Fantasy Tactics, rule of thumb: never underestimate Chocobos.
No thanks.
I'll leave the praying to you.
All right, here we go.
Oh god.
So, Aerith, where's
Yeah.
the F key?
What for fuck Cloud?
Paying respect to Dwibs.
Yeah, F for fuck Cloud in this cutscene.
I'm really grateful for what you did. Here's your reward.
A bracelet.
Oh, nice.
I owe him a lot. Maybe more than I can ever repay. And now I owe you a lot too. I know it's not much, but I hope it makes up for it.
Basically, the old man was his professor,
We
the
paid our respects to
teacher.
your wife, and we took care of those creatures.
That's such a relief to hear. I can't tell you how much it was weighing on my mind. I was beginning to think I might never be able to visit her grave.
Announcer, do you mind? I'm trying to have a talk with this old guy.
My legs, my whole body's
Don't start getting lazy, Gramps.
I didn't think I could make it past
Uh-huh.
but I was prepared to die trying. And then you two came along.
So we stopped the
Still,
suicide.
I've got to
Good.
face facts. Creatures or no, I can't keep making these trips.
Grams.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
This is the graveyard key. Run it back to Mug.
But I just told you about my legs.
Why don't you just give it back?
Okay. It'll cost you 5,000 gil.
5,000?
He's still a
Always
Merkable.
money with you people. Fine. I won't ask you for anything.
See, he
else.
just needed some
Take
motivation.
the key and give it to the boy. It's downright depressing.
Kids these days and their Fortnite.
Days.
Okay. Awkward ending.
It feels good to
Yeah,
help,
just a bit.
doesn't it?
Yeah, a
It was
lot.
good to help you out. Cloud was
Yeah,
being an
I did.
arsehole to that guy just there. Weren't you listening?
Then you can't.
I'm more... okay, no, I actually don't mind the fact that it was basically her therapy to basically convince him to move him, because it was pretty much clear that oh my back hurts thing was more of an excuse than anything. But I'm surprised that Aerith didn't intervene. You think that it would kind of the type of quest where she was like, Cloud, come on, Cloud, be nicer or something like that. But no, she doesn't speak.
Yeah.
Bright side, it seems he's all
And also, up to this point, Cloud wasn't this much of an arsehole, but
Yeah. This is under the Your Mileage May Vary page on... Okay, Cloud, did you really need to be that much of a dick for that section? Especially...
Yeah, I mean, this bit kind of pissed me off.
Especially since it doesn't match up with his development. See, okay, yeah. Cloud starts the game as an absolute selfish jerk, but it's around this point where he's getting more of his compassionate side. Also, he's been nice to other people here, so why be a dick to a guy? Like, okay, even if the whole back pain here is supposed to emotionally manipulate us, Cloud's way of rebuffing it was douchey, to say the least.
Yes,
I can tell, if you need the information, I can tell you this. If I recall correctly, the Japanese script is not that much different.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it doesn't matter whatever script it was from.
Well, this, for all we knew, it could have been potentially better in the original one.
These things always seem to vary depending on the game. Sometimes it's the same; they just alter the wording to make it sound more natural in English. Sometimes they.
No, I don't mean that, Dwibs. I don't mean that, Dwibs. I mean the fact that maybe the way Cloud constructed the phrase may have been sounded less offensive, quote unquote, in the Japanese script. I don't know.
Former soldier turned problem solver. Are you okay, Miss Folia? You look upset.
Yeah, I am pretty upset. The kids are still off doing patrols, even though it's now time for their lessons. Not a single one of them has...
And I take it this school can't really afford a bell.
Yeah, the slums are really a bad place. Keep also in mind this teacher. She may potentially show up later, depending if Liz manages to find her or not. I don't blame you if you didn't, though. She's likely hidden.
Have you? You see, I have some important plans this
Oh, I wonder what they are.
Would you like us to go?
They'll cost you 50,000 gil.
A quest where we are to find kids and round them up for school in a Square Enix game. Where have I seen this before?
Actually, can you give me a hint, Jova? I'm a bit lost.
Legend of Mana.
True, I suppose.
Was that the Super Nintendo one?
No, the PlayStation one. True, I suppose. You needed to gather the students for caffeine job, but you don't have to answer their philosophical riddles about school.
That was the best part of that quest.
Alright, so basically in this quest it's pretty simple. You have to find the kids that are carrying those cardboard buster swords.
Yeah.
And
then they'll run back to teacher.
Oh nice, I've set such a great example for the next generation.
Yeah, and pissed off the old generation beforehand.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was doing there.
Well, Cloud, that's something for you to think about for the next game. Well, if Square can keep characterization straight, which I hear they have an issue with.
Well, just pray to God that they can keep the writing for the most part as good.
Well, just one bad scene doesn't immediately put the entire script into question.
And it's even a side quest, so you can potentially miss it too.
Well, I never said that. I was just saying that, from what I understand, sometimes Square in general has a bit of some trouble keeping things straight, whether it's characters or story.
He's not wrong. Like, let's not forget, one of the reasons we're not one of the problems a lot of people have with the 7 compilation is because of the goddamn flanderization it does to these characters here.
But Aerith, I thought the kids might have gone down that way.
It's
like, for the record,
if you check the map, Dwibs, you will see that you're in the X area. You're also in there, just there. Sorry, Jova, go on.
For the record, the compilation suggests that Aerith, the same girl who threatened to rip a man's balls out of his crotch, is supposedly now a pure decent girl.
Well, isn't she dead at that point?
Oh, that's right, I didn't do this. Well, no, but more talking about how she's characterizing Crisis Core.
And Before Crisis.
Well, I don't think she shows up that much in Before Crisis. I think Sang checks her out like once or twice in the entire game, but she's clearly not the focus.
Oh yeah.
You do meet some of the characters, like you actually get to see Red 13 get kidnapped by Cosmo Canyon. They even retcon him a bit by saying that he's not the last of his kind for some reason, but he had this like love interest, I think. Which I guess it makes sense for him to have the Cubs at the at the post-credit scene of the game.
To be fair too, yeah, they had to come up with some kind of reason why the ending of the original game suddenly has these cubs now. Yes. So to be fair, that was actually even the original game kind of retconned that after the credits too. So to be fair, yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay. I understand that. You meet Vincent. You actually temporarily wake up, and it's actually one of the better interactions in the game. Being a former Turk, he actually has a lot to talk about your player character, your director of the Turks, and the other characters.
Cloud.
Yeah, go on, kid. Go back to school and answer your phone for God's sake.
Cloud, you're not doing it right. You're supposed to have the Victory Fanfare as your ringtone, don't you know?
Because
sorry,
everyone,
I'm just really much a fan of that series.
Is that why your hair's so spiky?
I'm sorry, but in my world,
Well,
there is no such. Sorry, guys, but in my world, there is no such thing as victory.
It's like it's not even just this. Square has now this thing now where the characters have the Victory Fanfare as their ringtone.
Why not? I think that'd be more better as a text message.
No, I think it's too long for that.
It's also the fact.
Shorten it a bit.
It's also the fact, Dwibs, that the victory fanfare that you hear the most is just the simple, ringtone at the beginning, but it has actually a loopy part right after it that it's done if you want to check the victory screen for a while. So.
Okay, so the kids might have took a little sneaky and tried to buy some stuff from the replacement gold saucer.
No, but now that's going into what Dwibs was saying, that's the thing, Dwibs, like even when it comes to proven script writers, like they tend to be very like Nojima in particular is a very good, talented writer, but he's awfully inconsistent with his
I don't even know if the phrase "he needs to be kept on a leash" can be applied, because a couple of times he is. It's still not enough.
Maybe it wasn't the right owner that held the leash.
Maybe he just works in periods. I don't know. It's like a proper artist.
You have to wonder too, because remember, like the script for the original game was co-written by both him and Kitase, but with FF8, it was just Nojima writing the script, whereas Kitase co-wrote the story, but it didn't actually work with Nojima in the script itself. You have to wonder, if what could have been if Kitase kept writing
even more poses.
Well, that's more direction than writing too. The problem with Final Fantasy VIII, that scene is more the direction rather than the writing.
In general, all those fucking three dots ellipses for Squall, those are in the script. The proper. Yes, Jova, we want that picture. The proper answer that Skull gives a lot of times in the game is a standard 3-dot ellipses. That is actually a thing in the script, not even a sense like it's.
I get that.
I can't believe I forgot all about the lesson.
I get that too, but let's not forget those moments where there's like 10 seconds without any speech booms popping up.
I get that's what you mean.
They all wear homemade swords on their backs. Thanks again for agreeing to help you guys.
I still want that thing.
Alright, I'm back from answering my call, and to answer your question, Miss Shiroi, yes, part of the reason I do like that series is because of the wonderful spiky-haired protagonist. He's very relatable.
I think she always bird now. So,
yes.
I come back the other
it's all
herbs.
done. No, actually no. I think you're missing one of the side quests.
Although I'm pretty sure, in terms of a character being around, but then they vanish, but when they come back, we react as though nothing happened. I'm pretty sure there was a Square game that might have done that, but I can't remember which one.
Well, you were talking about in the same game or in between games, because the 13 trilogy is chock full of them.
Anyway,
the characters who just randomly vanish, and
in the next game they have a completely different characterization. Yes.
Well, I didn't mean that. I meant sometimes the character just vanishes, and then they come back, they react as though they hadn't vanished at all.
Okay, I can tell you, in the same identical game, 13-2, because Sans disappears at the beginning, but Benny just comes back literally for the ending, and if you want to know what happened to him, at least for the vanilla game, you had to wait until the DLC was purchasable.
I thought you were gonna say you had to read the text boxes or something.
Not even that, Dwibs. The game is not even that general. Not even the data log can actually save you. You have to actually purchase money for gambling DLC.
So what did I
yes,
miss?
Jova?
What did I miss while I was burped?
We found all the kids.
Yeah, Dwibs was catching some kids while we heard you needed to give us a picture, Jova.
Thanks to you two. You've been a great help.
Now, again, these aren't all the kids that can have toy buster swords, but like I said, the more side quests you do, you'll actually see some kids playing around with that.
Oh no, the Toad King.
What are we going to do?
A weird, creepy monster we've seen near the hideout lately. He wears a crown and walks around like he owns the place. If he's not a king, he's gotta be monster.
Is he an
Laura
annoy?
Bailey is one of the kids. She sounded a bit like her.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
Guy
Is
with
she listed?
I think basically.
Cloud, you're charging a poor.
Hold on. He's going for it. He's doing something similar to Dante in Devil May Cry 2.
Wouldn't ask for money.
But if we ask any other grown-ups for help, they'll find out about the hideout, and that'll be it.
We really don't want to lose the hideout. Come on, help us. Oh, and we'll give you some cool treasure if you do.
And if that's not enough, I'll pay the rest of your fee once I open my
Oh.
shop.
Yeah, but that's gonna be years
Well,
away.
If he won't help, then we'll just have to kill it ourselves.
Do you know,
Yes,
and
Cyclops.
we see,
Oh, here we go.
Cloud will keep pestering you about the where's my money.
There we go. See?
Aww.
I'm offering a special discount right now on Toad King jobs.
Now that's the Cloud I know.
Awesome!
It kind of makes it a bit random though. He'll be arseholes to some people, but kind and
I
generous
wonder
to
if some of
others.
the side quests were written by different parts of the team, like so idealized from different parts of the team.
Would not surprise me.
I think all RPGs do that. I mean, the amount of side quests written by some other people compared to the main writer who's focusing on the main story.
Well, believe it
Okay.
or not, Dwibs, back in the day, an entire game was written by just one person. Way back in the day. But yeah, nowadays that kind of is the norm.
It depends on the game. I mean, the Ni no Kuni games, Hino writes that entire thing himself.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a writer that does the entire work on its own. Sometimes he's under the guise of basically a director, basically doing whatever the director says. Sometimes he's actually the producer for some reason, the one
Teo.
who's in control. Yes.
Do we know if Yoko Taro writes the entire thing for the Neo game?
No. There is an actual writer and a producer. I'll get them in a second. For now, let me answer what I was saying before. No, Laura Bailey is not created among the additional voices, so it must have been someone else. But it's weird because pretty much the rest of the entire gang and even Ben some is there. Johnny on Bosch, Kira Buckland, Edward Bosco, Kirk
Sorry.
Portland is here, Christina V. So it's not like Laura Bailey is strangely missing. I guess she was busy with something else.
What does he tell? She's busy being the new face of Gears of War.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not. She's not. For the record, she's not listed even for the pseudonym LCD. It's not that she will need her in it, mind you. She does that mostly for her more bad works.
Gareth, please step out of the way.
Wait.
Oh, boxes!
Not necessarily, Teo. She did use her pseudonym in Miracle Mask.
Oh, she did. I didn't know. I forgot about that.
It depends on the circumstances. It doesn't have to do with the quality of the product itself. Because remember, too, like she credits herself by her name in the 13th trilogy for crying out loud. So, I mean,
Remember, like I said, Square is one company that apparently treats its voice actors like with the luxury treatment. Surprising enough, at least for most of them. I still don't know what happened with Wendy Lee.
What
Sorry.
about Wendy Lee?
Well, remind me again if she's Mandy Moore. Fuck, I forgot the name.
Mandy Moore. Yeah.
Mandy Moore.
Mandy Moore.
Because
Now that I
that's
get.
that's the only surprise, thing that because she voiced Aerith in the first Kingdom Hearts. She's been the historical voice actress of Rapunzel, in voicing her in pretty much everything involved in the character, except Kingdom Hearts 3. where she made all the sound like. And keep in mind, it's not like Kingdom Hearts 3
Wait,
for
hold
God
on,
of
hold on. Wasn't it confirmed that that actually was me anymore? Just
No, no,
Yeah,
it's not even a pseudonym. It's actual different person altogether.
Zachary Levi reprises his role as Eugene, but the
Probably that's the reason why they spent all that money on Zachary Levi.
Okay, I can tell you this, Pedro. For Drakengard 1 and 3, the games that Taro worked on, you know, he wrote himself the game, even though he was a co-writer for that, along with Sawako Natori. At least, for both Drakengard 1 and 3. For Nier, the two writers were instead. Hold on, give me a second, because fuck. Well, I can tell you in the meantime Automata, because before Automata he also co-wrote the story, along with two other people, Hana Kikuchi and Yoshio Akabane. For the first Nier, I know that he didn't write the story. Two people instead wrote this, Wako Natori, the other writer for Drakengard, and Hana Kikuchi, the one that later wrote for Nier Automata. So there is some sort of consistency between the titles.
I thought I was going to use the summon on the king, but all it needed was a cross slash and bam.
Yeah.
Sawako Natori also...
not bam, it's a sword, so more like slash.
Sawako Natori worked also on Drakengard 2, the game that Taro didn't work on.
Yep.
Yes.
His butt real good.
Yes, I did beat the Toad King, but that discount's gone.
Actually, we're gonna give you something better than Gil, I argue. The nail bat weapon.
Oh boy, the nail bat! What a really useful weapon that is.
Yeah, that's one of the least useful of Carl's weapons.
Well,
I only use it
from the original game, so I can understand.
Yeah, I'm only gonna use it the once. So
if you level up, I argue even the ability that it provides is kind of useless.
Besides, it's a baseball bat.
Well, it's still useful for killing things, but it does. The ability that it provides it like makes you a quick switch between normal mode and the alternate mode that Cloud has. So it's basically a fancy replacement for the triangle button. Whoop-de-doo. Honestly, the other weapons that Klaus has in game have better abilities too. It doesn't have, but it also doesn't have, even when leveled up at max, its Crystarium doesn't have that much material slots and doesn't have any connect material slots, so you have to rely on your armor slots for having synergy.
So I see Miss Folier as a fan of Fast and Furious. She loves family.
She has her dreams, but sometimes you need to do something else to make their dreams realize. Again, if Dwibs doesn't find her later on, I'll mention what she does.
Oh, hey, Shirai.
It also, well, it's the thing. When it comes to that, it was completely obvious that Mandy Moore's cast. Remember, a lot of the Final Fantasy characters in the first Kingdom Hearts were cast by Disney. They were the ones who
I saw also the interviews. Steve Burton as Cloud was casted just because the voice director was a fan of a movie that he was in. Literally just that.
Well, I mean, I've heard of weirder reasons to cast people in a lead role.
Actually, I should check back again how.
I mean, basically, the 6th Doctor Who was cast because he gave a good performance at a wedding.
Actually, I don't remember
a wedding reception, more accurately.
Actually, I don't remember how Lance Bass sounds as Sephiroth, but if memory serves me right, not that great.
And he wasn't a bad actor in the role, but I don't think getting cast. I don't think you make people laugh at parties is a good reason to cast somebody.
That's what you were saying, Jova. No. It's a very convincing sound. Like my guess is, Jova, they're preparing for eventual, because Disney does that a lot. They prepare younger actors for eventual succession when the main actor eventually cannot for some reason, or again or maybe it's that the actress in Kingdom Hearts 3 is the equivalent of Jim Hanks playing Woody in any of the non-movie Toy Story media and stuff like that. So
Okay, but anyway, well, I think we have officially done with the side quests we can do in these parts of the slums. So join us next time, where I believe we're getting back to the main story.
See ya.
See you then.
Ja.